Let's go to Amanda in Madison, Wisconsin. What's up, Amanda?
Hi, John. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm living the dream, right?
Hey, I'm running a scam. They call a podcast here, so I can't really talk. I'm having fun. So what's up?
The reason I'm calling you today is because I'm trying to figure out how to help best my son, or how to best help my son, who is he's a sixth grader, first year in middle school, and he's experiencing some bouts of on and off anxiety to the point where it's like manifesting in physical like headaches and feeling sick and things like that, where he's having a hard time getting through his day. And I'm trying to figure out how to help him get through these things that he's going through.
Is this new, or has this been going on a long time?
It has been going on. The first time it kind of came up was over the summer. He really wanted to play tackle football with his friends, and we got him into that. And after a couple of weeks, he was getting physical, like hip pains or back pains, where he felt like he couldn't practice. Couldn't play in football, and so I'd take him to practice to let him watch and learn still. But still, then the coaches were saying that he was screwing around or playing around on the sidelines and doing things that if he's not appearing to be actually hurt. And so then I was able to figure out from him after some conversations that he was scared about getting tackled and getting hurt at football practice. And we were able to then work through those issues with the coaches, and, with some extra time with the coaches, he was able to work through that and finish the season. But so that's another instance where he had, like, I don't know if that was anxiety or if it was just fear, or if I don't.
Yeah,
parenting's hard, man.
It's so hard. Yeah. You nailed it. I don't see a lot of utility in trying to parse the difference. Okay, whether it's fear or anxiety and what type of anxiety it is. Sometimes it's helpful to name the dragon, but generally speaking, your son's body is telling him to opt out of a situation. And It has determined that going to school is not a safe situation. It's determined that playing football is not a safe situation. And since he doesn't seem to be able to get the signals, it's going to start manifesting pain and hurt and all kinds of things that have a weird self-reinforcement to him, because that's when people lean in and say, "Are you okay?" And they listen to him and they hear him, and his body goes, "Oh, thank God. And I'm seen and I'm heard finally." And then it reinforces, okay, that's how we get that sort of connection there. So backing out, these are always hard questions, and they're not supposed to be accusatory, okay? This is just data collection. Do you and your husband have anxious tendencies? Where is this anxiety coming from? Did he get hurt somewhere? Did he watch one of his football friends just get leveled? Is he getting bullied at school? Where does this originate from?
I don't personally suffer from any like anxious tendencies. My husband does.
Okay.
He did see one of his teammates get hurt at football practice, and that kind of, I think, where some of that stemmed from.
Sure.
At school, he was diagnosed last year with dyslexia.
Okay.
And so he struggles with keeping things straight in his mind and gets overwhelmed because they use Google Classroom, and so he can see all the different assignments that they're going to work on for that given day. And then he sees how many he's got, and then he gets overwhelmed of, oh my gosh, I have so much to do.
Well, but also with dyslexia, he gets a reinforcement on a daily basis that he's stupid. And that he's different.
He does.
I bet he does. One of the most common responses I've had with working with young people with dyslexia is a reinforcement that everybody's going faster than they are, and that it's become something's wrong with them. And it's a message that schools pass along, not unintentionally. Maybe not with your particular son, man. I've just heard that over and over and over again.
And that was something that I worried about getting, because I had him assessed for some, just because I knew he was struggling and I wanted to know why. I wanted to know what it was, and I wanted to know how to help him. And the dyslexia diagnosis was at least something to be like, okay, now how do we work around this? And it hasn't been anything that I've noticed that he's been able to really adapt to it and work around it. And
But he's not. He's not. His body's not. This isn't an intellectual exercise. His body is telling him he's not okay.
Okay, how do I help him?
Let me ask you this:
Do I need to get him into a therapist, or
what's your husband's avoidance strategies when he gets anxious? How does he get out of situations?
When he's uncomfortable, he pretty much just quits.
So he exits the building.
Yeah.
Okay. Children are unable to do that because they don't have car keys and they don't have control and they don't have autonomy. And so kids' bodies revolt. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want you to think of your son as a little boy whose body is telling him he's not safe and he can't leave. And I'm not saying to run and leave, okay?
Right.
So let me back out this way. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to believe him. Okay? Believe him that he hurts. Understand that some folks have really tall kids. Some folks have short kids. Some folks have kids with lots. My friends used to call me guaca when I was a kid because I had lots of moles, right? Some like whatever, dude. Like there's all kinds of things that parents, their kids are born with. Your kid might have a heightened sensitivity in his amygdala. That doesn't mean he's sensitive and not like that. Just his body experiences things in an amplified way, particularly anxiety. That's it, right? His amygdala is uber reactive. That's all, okay? So what we're going to teach him over a period of time is when that system goes off and says, you're not safe. Every kid watched their buddy get smashed on that football field. Your kid's alarm system was just louder than theirs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to teach him both and it's going to be really tough because his brain has to learn that this is the alarm system and we can do it anyway. And not only can we do it anyway, but on the other side of doing it and accomplishing it and getting these little wins, it's going to feel infinitely better than the cheap wins we're getting every time we avoid something. Accomplishment is going to feel better than this headache. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so what does care look like in your home? Or let me ask this direct. Do y'all have special time where you have one-on-one time where there's 30 minutes and there's no phone and you ask him how his day went, y'all color together, y'all draw together, y'all do Legos together? Do you have any type of system like that?
We typically on the weekends will do like family game night or something like that. I mean, it's not we don't get time every day to do something, but we usually on the weekends are able to set some time and do family game nights.
Okay. So there's this, it's out of the conscious discipline literature, but it's called Two Good Choices. And we're going to teach this young man some autonomy, but it's going to be bounded autonomy, meaning you're going to give him a couple of ideas. And I want you to, and your husband, to make some time in your schedule 3 times a week, not including the weekends. It could be breakfast time. I take my son to breakfast once a week. Is it convenient? No. Do I have time for it? Really, no. It's become one of my favorite moments of my life. And sometimes we only get 30 minutes at Waffle House. I get 30 minutes of time with him and diabetes, but we go, right? We do it every once a week. But I want y'all to pencil in 30 minutes where there is no phones, there is no screens, there is nothing but connection. And I want you to give him, do you want to do Legos together or do you want to do fill in the blank together? And he gets to pick which one of those things he gets to enter into. And you're not going to try to solve anything. You're not going to try to coach him on anything. You're just going to practice being with. And my guess is, it's a crazy guess, but my guess is over time, his body's going to, I didn't know how that felt. That feels really good. I like this relationship connectivity. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And In the meantime, if he doesn't want to play football, that's fine. My friend Lane Norton just won world championships in weightlifting. If him and I were working out together and he lifted his reps and I got under the bar, I'd have to take a lot of weight off because I'm just not that strong yet. Like I did that, I'll never be as strong as Lane. But I would have to take some weight off because I'm not there yet. I'm practicing, training. And similarly, he's in 6th grade. He's got potentially a very reactive amygdala. Great. If he comes home and says, whoa, I just saw one of my classmates get decleated and his nose got broken and I don't really want to play football anymore, say, okay, you have to choose because we're going to do one outdoor thing. You got to pick one thing. And you can choose from soccer or baseball, but you're going to do a thing. But you don't have to play football. And we're not cashing out. We're not wimping out. He's got to choose another activity. He can't just go home and play video games or whatever. But we're going to slowly teach him that, okay, you're learning. We're going to practice something else then. And we're just going to do that with, if he gets an 88, that's fine for now, right? What is he nervous about at school? Like, what's the failure he's sensing there? Why does his body not want him in that building?
I haven't been able to really pinpoint. I think it's just the overwhelm, like, because he's being graded for real now on classes. Like, he can get an F, he can fail stuff for like.
Yeah, but where does he get the sense that a failure is the end of something? Is that from you and your husband? I put a lot of pressure on my kids to do well academically, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Is that from y'all? Is it from school? Where's that from?
I'm not sure. I mean, we don't pressure him to get, like, he doesn't have to be a straight A student. We always taught our kids to, just try your best. And if that's the best that you can do, then as long as you tried your best, we're okay with that. He's actually a straight A student. But he is smart. He's not failing. It's just, I don't know if the pressure of, I don't know. I don't know why he is so afraid of his grades or having late homework. If he has something that he doesn't get done in class and he ends up having to take it home to do homework, he just worries about it.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
My guess is
I've always been able to help him do his homework at home, and we always get it done. But, like, when he's at school and it's not done, he worries about it.
Yeah, that sounds so environmental. It sounds so environmental. I would strongly recommend you go with him and don't ship him off to a counselor. Just go sit and see a counselor, but you go with him. Because I think what I'm guessing is there are some strategies inside your home that when he gets home, there's a heightened level of tension there. And it could be from husband. It could be from the way he is perceiving things. It could be from you. It could be from any number of things. But somehow his body has picked up and over amplified these signals that he's not safe. And it's going to give him a stomach ache. It's going to give him a headache. It's going to give him these things, right? I think seeing a counselor would be wise because hearing it from a third-party adult who is trained at listening and being quiet and leaning in and making connections with a kid. They may even have him he's 6th grade, so they may have him do some play therapy, maybe a little bit aged out of that a little bit, but maybe not. But another adult might be able to give him some strategies, give you some strategies, give y'all some new language together. But I'm going to double back. My guess is this is a highly, highly relational. I'd want to know if he's getting bullied at school, if school is somehow unsafe. I would really have a counselor dig into the dyslexia and how that makes him feel in relationship to his other classmates. And it may be that dyslexia was part of the diagnostic and there's more there. Who knows? But I want to start at home with the things you can control. And that is, I'm going to put everything away. I'm going to create space in my day. And by the way, I'm not going to say, I've made time for you. No, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to create space. An anxious kid is highly, highly perceptive for safety. And I want you to create as safe as environment as possible, and that's going to come from presence. So let's start there. Let's get him into a counselor. Let me say it this way. Your kid's not broken. He's not broken. Let's give him some autonomy to make some choices about an outdoor activity. About, does he want to do this homework right now, or does he want to do that? Let's teach him autonomy. Let's teach him slowly how to do hard things. And a good counselor is going to help y'all walk through basically retraining his brain, neurological training for feeling that alarm go off really loud, louder than his peers, and still heading in and getting those accomplishments. But screaming at him, beating him up, and I know you don't do those things, but that doesn't help. That's not a thing. And it may be time for dad to work on his anxiety too, because there's going to come a point, if he's not there already, where your son's going to feel responsible for making sure dad doesn't feel anxious. And that is a burden that no sixth grader, no kid can carry. Thank you so much for your call and for loving that kid, man.